What's That Sat Under the Tree? Why, it's a Christmas special of the This Gameware podcast with myself, Chris, and...
Me, Ashley. Yay! Christmas!
Second Christmas episode?
Yeah, our second Christmas episode. We're recording these back to back, but you will be getting them about a week apart, we're planning?
We're aiming for this one to come out between Christmas and New Year.
So, all going well, this should be like the 29th, I think. You should be sat waiting in that Christmas lull.
Yeah, Crimbo Limbo.
Crimbo Limbo. Where's that from?
One of my friends came up with it. I can't claim that, but it is a brilliant phrase because it's perfect.
It does, yeah, because you are just waiting for things to wrap up, aren't you?
Exactly. After doing
New
the
Year's
thing.
now.
Yeah, it's just that sat there being all full of fattened goose, isn't it? Just sat waiting around and just feeling content and bloated and great. Goose. No, figurative goose.
Figuratively.
I've only had...
Well, I wouldn't put it past you. I haven't had goose ever.
I've only tried it once in Poland.
We're hoping
it was lovely.
That, goose aside, Crimbo Limbo, get a podcast down here.
Definitely.
And this is going to be our best episode so far, so...
let's go for it.
It's
then.
definitely our best game.
So just to reiterate This Gameware podcast, each week one of us brings a game to the table for the other person to look at, a game that person particularly liked or that some tastes didn't like. Talk about the game, our memories of it, then we go off and play the game, and then come back and discuss our takeaway from the game afterwards. This week with a specific Christmas bent. What's the Christmas bent?
If you haven't ever listened to us before, you will notice that Chris is the one that reads the manual before he starts the thing. I'm the one that jumps straight in, because if I was doing this, I wouldn't have even told you any of that. You just would have had to hang on by the seat of your pants and just go with it. Just find out as it happened. So did you just ask me what the game was?
No, just to make sure we've got all our listenership
Everyone's
on board.
up to speed.
So, as it's a Christmas episode, we were choosing...
Yeah, Christmas games. So games that we got for Christmas.
So this is a game you got for Christmas.
This is a game that I got for Christmas. 1999.
Thank you. Okay. Which console?
1999. Game Boy.
Okay. So I'm getting a bit of an idea in my head at the moment then. Go on then.
Are you?
Possibly. What is it then? This game where...
Right, it's this game where you play as a young boy who goes out into the world, his world, and after being given a present by a middle-aged man. The present being a little monster that fits into his...
A dinky little minikin.
Pocket, yeah. And then you go and collect other monsters that also strangely fit in your pocket, even though one of them's like 800 pounds in...
girth.
Weight, yeah.
So,
any ideas?
Well,
was that good?
I don't know.
Was that a good description?
That wasn't clear enough, really.
No, you might be surprised by this.
So, what? I know what it is from the description. Obviously,
you do know what it is.
Yeah, but which one? So it's Pokemon, isn't it?
It's Pokemon.
Great.
Yeah. So which one do you think it should be?
So if it's 1999, I'm thinking it's Pokemon Yellow.
No.
Oh,
did that come out in 1999?
It came out after.
I think that came out in 2000 because. So I went into secondary school in 1999.
Right.
So September 99. Made new friends. One friend in particular who was a very good friend. He got Pokemon Blue for Christmas. I got Pokemon Red for Christmas. And we spent the next... I don't even know how long it felt. It felt like forever playing Pokemon, swapping Pokemon. He had a couple of other friends who also had versions of Pokemon, and we all just used to get together and Pokemon it up. It was amazing.
Can I just say this is a great choice?
Yeah.
Because I really like Pokemon games, but I don't play them enough.
No.
So I had Pokemon Red.
Yeah, brilliant. I do too.
I played it probably around the same sort of time as you, 1999-2000, and have not played it since. I then did not play any Pokemon games up until getting my 3DS in 2011, when I got Pokemon Black.
Yeah.
And then never played it.
Mm.
What an idiot. And at the time recording, December 2019, Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield have obviously recently come out for the Switch. You've got Shield, haven't you?
I have.
And I have firm plans to get Sword.
Well, I damn well hope
Specifically because we want to be trading with each other, don't we?
I want to complete my Pokédex. So, I mean, I was going to talk about that anyway, but before we do, are you not surprised by that choice? Because I thought I'd given it away a couple of days ago by accident.
Yeah, I knew it was... So...
But then I tried to misguide you.
Oh, so you lied to me.
I lied. Because you said... I said something like, oh, I've kind of been doing research for the last couple of weeks. about this game. And what I meant was, I've been playing Pokemon Shield far too much.
Yeah, which is completely what I got from that.
Yeah, and then I went, oh god, I think I've probably just given it away, and you said yes. So I said, yes, but I'm quite surprised. No, I'm quite excited about it, and I tried to misdirect you by saying, "Oh, I'm surprised that you are excited because you've said that you didn't like this."
So when you said that, you were putting words in my mouth,
yeah,
and misguiding me.
Yeah,
well, it worked.
I was
completely through me.
I was trying to push you towards Katamari Damacy because I talked to you about that the other day, and you said that you didn't like it.
But that wasn't a Game Boy game, so
no, I know, but you shouldn't have known it was a Game Boy game.
All you did was just confuse me.
Good, that's good.
Yeah,
because I'm supposed to keep it a secret, but I'm very bad at keeping a secret. So. You gave me a present at the beginning of yours.
I did.
After we did the reveal, and I've got a present for you too.
Exciting.
I've actually got two, but you're having this one first.
Thank you.
It's the smaller of the two.
So this is the first Christmas present I opened this year in very nice personalised wrapping paper, white paper that says Chris over it
in
many
lots
times.
Of colours.
In 3 colours.
No, more than that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, can't get any more personal having your name on it.
No, this one says Chris on it as well, all over.
It does. Oh yeah, I've revealed the blue underneath.
Be careful.
I'm going to try and be careful because I want to keep the wrapping paper because you've put a lot of time into this.
Well, I didn't cut it very well, so it's a bit ripped and dishevelled around the edges.
Is it little Christmas decks?
Yeah.
Oh, they're lovely. Hannah, your wife made them.
So yeah. Well, no. Yes and no. So Hannah did the cross stitch.
Yes.
And then I made the actual decorations.
They're very smart. So I better explain it, hadn't I? So there are 3 Christmas decorations that are cross stitches of Psyduck, Squirtle, and Pikachu.
Yeah.
There's the cross stitches. I'm impressed that I remembered Psyduck as the name. And then on the back, you've got 3 different Pokeballs. So Pikachu is in the standard red and white Pokeball.
Yeah.
Swirtle is in a green and white one. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's called a park ball.
Right.
It's got a butterfly. I mean, I'll take photos. We can put them on the the page. But that's a park ball, and it's got like a butterfly motif on it.
Was that in?
And I thought it'd be Christmassy.
Was that in red?
It was like a safari ball, but not. I don't remember which one it is.
No, I don't remember that at all.
What I did was obviously I put. So the last one. What's the last one in?
So the last one looks like Team Rocket on the back. It's white with purple, but it's got an
Team
M.
Rocket. That is a Master Ball.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if you remember this, but I asked you, sort of in the guise of talking about Pokemon Shield, what your favourite Pokemon were. And you nominated Psyduck as your favourite Pokemon.
I did.
You nominated Pikachu. No, you nominated Squirtle as your favourite starter Pokemon.
Yeah, okay.
And I didn't think you could have Pokemon and not have a Pikachu.
You can't not have Pikachu, no.
So I put
they are great.
your favourite in a Master Ball.
Oh, look at the amount of thought's gone into this.
And Pikachu in the regular ball, because that is like the iconic imagery. And then the park ball I chose because it was quite Christmassy looking.
That's lovely. That's very personal and a lot of effort's gone into those. So thank you very much.
I hope you do like them.
I genuinely like them. They're great.
I've been making those all week.
I can see.
And Hannah did the cross stitches about 4 weeks ago.
When we put the photos on our social media, you'll be able to see. But they are very nice.
Good. I'm glad they were going to be coasters, but we bought some they call them coaster blanks to make them into coasters.
Right.
And it was all the stuff was too thick, so we couldn't get them into the coasters.
Right.
So now the decorations.
That's perfect. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I will put them with great care down there.
I really like them. I almost didn't give them to you.
Maybe you should go on Etsy and start selling them and making your own.
Well, this is I will pop a link in the description, but there is a dearth? No,
dearth.
The opposite.
Oh,
there is a plethora of.
Dearth means the same as plethora. It means lots. Yeah.
Okay, I thought it meant the opposite.
Maybe it does. I'll question myself now.
There is
there's a lot.
Let's say plethora.
Yeah.
There's loads of these cross-stitch patterns for all the Pokemon. Like, probably every single Pokemon that ever exists, there's a pattern for it. And the ones that I've got there, that you've now got, were made by someone on DeviantArt called Mackie Bird, who has a website, I think it's called birdiestitching.com, and she's got so many different cross-stitch patterns. Like, there are Pokemon ones, there's other Nintendo games, there's Sega stuff, and there's Disney stuff, all sorts. And I'll put a link in the description for anyone that would like to make their own.
That also,
because they are great.
In terms of the cross-stitching, thinking about a father of a 5-year-old girl who likes aqua beads.
I
imagine we'll also use that cross-stitch pattern to make aqua beads with that.
Yeah,
so she will get
There's
great
those Hema beads as well, isn't there, that you can...
Yeah.
They follow the same idea.
The steaming stuff, isn't it?
I think you put them in the oven. Or you use
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Great.
Make away.
Wow, what a great present. What a great game. Oh, this is going to be a good old podcast. I can feel it in my bones.
You sound like you're being sarky.
No, I genuinely... This is going to be good. I was really into Pokemon. When Pokemon got big, 99, 2000, I was about 13, 14 and was quite aware that it was a little bit beneath me.
Yeah,
if that sounds
age-wise.
Age-wise, but embraced it regardless. I really liked the TV series, the cartoon.
Yeah, so did I. I mean, it all sprang from that. So, like,
it did.
I was perfect age for it, probably. Like, moving into secondary school, so 11 years old, making new friends, and I think the Pokemon series, television series, started maybe in the summer, maybe even in the autumn of that year. So we were all learning about Pokemon at the same time and making friends at the same time. Yeah. So it's like a perfect storm, really, of both things coming together. And I was actually listening to something about Pokemon the other day that said about how the Pokemon game is all about that, going into the schoolyard and talking to the playground and talking to people about the things that you'd found. And, like, you didn't necessarily have a guide, as you might do now. Like, you didn't have we could get strategy guides, but for the most part, you were going to school and you were going, guess what I did yesterday? I was on Route 11 and I found this Pokemon. And they go, what even is that? I've never seen that before. Where did you get that? And then you tell them and they go home and they find it. And that's how the information about different Pokemon disseminated through kids. It was saying about how it's not a game built for adults in the sense that adults don't have that same sort of fervent atmosphere that is built up in the school playground, where they can go into work and just sort of obsess every day for weeks on end. Although they do now.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure there's people that do that. So you've gone into this with no notes, which we do, because you reckon you've got it all logged up.
Well, I think there's just too much to talk about. I usually do more research than you, and I've done none.
Well, because you just saying about the game there, can you remember the name of the chap who invented Pokemon?
Nope.
I can't either. It's going to be one of those names where when we research it during the break, it's going, it's that. And I seem to remember that he came up with the idea because he was quite into nature himself and going out, a bit like you said, going out and exploring in the real world and finding insects and so on. So he wanted to create a game that instilled that sense. It does come through, doesn't it, in the games? They are all about that.
The whole thing is, like, especially if you go into it blind, and everyone was going into it blind in 1999. The games, we should clarify, the games came out way earlier in Japan. Something like 1996 or 7.
Oh, really?
Yeah, right. They were way before. And it was Pokemon Red and Green in Japan, whereas we got Pokemon Red and Blue.
So did we not get Green?
We didn't get Green, no. We got Leaf Green later on, which was a remake.
Green, was it
Fire Red and Leaf Green. They were remakes of the originals.
Because Sword and Shield we talked about earlier, what generation is that? 7 or 8?
I think it's 8.
Right, so quite a few games then.
Yeah, so there are currently over 800 Pokemon. There was a bit of controversy around the new games, but we'll come to that later. Yeah, so everyone was going into it blind in 1999, and it was all about sort of getting together. It was literally built into the game, the fact that you traded in order to get all of the Pokemon to complete your Pokedex.
The social aspect of it.
Yeah, you had to find somebody else with the game to trade Pokemon, and actually at that time you had to be in the same room to do that. It was perfect for someone moving into a secondary school and sort of making new friends. I actually remember it was also the first time I went to Meadowhall.
Oh, yes.
Because...
So Meadowhall being a very large shopping centre, precinct, is that the word? About an hour or so away from where we're currently recording.
Yeah.
It's a big indoor shopping arcade type place.
Yeah. It was
with a very good food court.
It does have a good food court. At the time, though, it was the Disney shop that I wanted to go to. Oh, yes. And it was just before Christmas, and for some reason, I don't know if you know why this is, but they were selling Pokemon.
I was just going to query that, why Pokemon were into the Disney
shop.
Yeah,
they were selling Pokemon Red and Blue. They also had the...
Are you sure about that? Is it not just...
Absolutely certain, yeah, because my mum bought it there.
Some sort of Nintendo Disney backhander then.
Again, questionable parenting. We took a day off school to go to Christmas shopping at Meadowhall.
One of those kids.
Yeah, we went Christmas shopping in Meadowhall, and the Disney shop was brilliant. Like, we didn't have anything like that here. still don't actually.
No, it's very much unique, isn't it, of its kind.
York has got one.
There's one in Cambridge.
Yeah, and I imagine everywhere like big has got one, but the whole of Lincolnshire,
not at all.
None.
The one in Meadowhall has got a huge screen on the wall, hasn't it? Has it still got it?
I don't know. I haven't been for a long time.
Just showing Disney films on a loop, and the screen is enormous inside a shop. I remember that blowing my mind when I went in when I was a nipper.
Well, the thing that blew my mind was that they had Nintendo stuff in there. That, I didn't understand why it was in there, because they had at the same time they had the Game Boy printer. The Game Boy printer and the camera. Printer. So there was Pokemon on one stand end, and then on the next one was the printer and the camera. The camera was a really weird design, like it looked like an eyeball. Yeah, it looked really cool.
It was sort of like a silver dish, wasn't it? Is that right?
I always thought that it looked like an eyeball. It was a cartridge that went in the back,
it was.
But then it had a round...
Yeah, I remember the round bit was maybe what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I always thought of it as an eyeball looking at you. And then the printer was terrible.
Yes, it was. I knew one person who had the printer, and I can remember him being really excited by it and then showing me how it worked. But he took a photo and then printed it out.
Yeah.
And it being just taking an agonisingly long time.
It took a long time, and they came out in a very low pixel count.
Yeah.
Not great, but at the time, very exciting.
I only really remember the camera being used in Link's Awakening DX.
I didn't have DX.
Didn't they have some sort of camera printer link to it?
I'm not sure. There was the Game Boy printer, the Game Boy camera, and then there was Pokemon. And me and my friend had been sort of lusting after Pokemon. And I can't remember whether we'd agreed before or after that I would get one and he would get the other.
Yeah.
So that we could then trade and fight and stuff.
Sensible.
Yeah. And I went for Pokémon Red, which I've got in my box. I brought a box down.
I did wonder why you brought that box down.
So I brought my box down. I only brought the box down because I didn't want you to see what I had.
Right.
So I have got... That is my original Pokémon Red.
Wow, in a Super Game Boy cartridge.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't seen one of those for a long time.
No, that was the last time I played that particular cartridge.
And a good thing to play on the Super Game Boy as well.
Yeah, exactly. But I've also got all of my other Pokemon bits in here as well. So, there's a Pokemon... Well, we'll come to these. So that's my original Pokemon Red.
Right.
If you have a look at the cover,
of the actual Game Boy card, it's very worn.
It's faded at the top, isn't it? Yeah.
Is that from where your thumb's been gripping?
No, it's not, unfortunately. No? So this is the sad story.
Okay. Hence the ready.
I completed my Pokédex, and then, we talked in the last episode about sort of trying to fit in and be cool and liked and stuff.
Did you delete it in a fit of pique?
No, one of the things that I did to be a friend to somebody, this was later, was lend him my Pokemon game.
Oh, no.
And...
rookie error.
Yeah, well, I knew what would happen. My Pokédex would disappear and all that.
But it was worth sacrificing for the friendship.
For the friendship.
And was it?
Is what I was hoping. Not in the long run.
And I've apologised many times for this.
I was really quite mad about this. I didn't let on about it, ever. So this is the first time I've ever told anybody.
So again, therapy. Another Christmas therapy session.
I lent it to him. This person, and he had it for I can't remember how long, and then when he gave me it back it was faded. I presume that he left it in, if you look there's quite a straight line, I presume he left it on a windowsill or something, so the sun faded it, because it was in pristine condition when I gave him it. He had, obviously, as I knew he would, he deleted my save and started his own, but he'd called all his Pokemon, and this made me really unhappy. He'd called all his Pokemon really crude stuff, like dickhead and stuff like that.
Oh, no.
Honestly, I can't tell you how upsetting that was.
What other crude names?
I can't remember what they were, but they were
face.
Pretty crude, because they weren't very nice. No, they were worse. I was being tame.
Right, okay. Were they really bad?
Yeah, they were bad.
This was 14?
No, we were younger than that.
Really?
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. So, there's a whole long story.
So is that save with those names still on this?
No, because the first thing that I did was delete it.
That's
and
fair
I did not play it after that.
Because I was cursed.
I was bothered.
Like the ring?
No. Because it really bothered me. And I'll tell you why it really bothered me. Because that game, I treasured that game, and I'd caught all the Pokemon. And, I'd actually I felt, quite connected to it. You know, you don't tend to have that sort of thing when you're an adult. There's nothing really there's no inanimate object that I've bonded with. But Pokemon was quite a strange thing, because you were catching these Pokemon, and then you were sort of creating a team.
Well, you nurture them and you grow them and level them up completely.
Yeah.
It's the Chocobos in Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
I felt the same with them.
Yeah.
Have I said that right? Chocobo. I don't know if it's Chocobo.
No, I'd say
Chocobo.
Chocobo.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I've never said it.
You know, the point at which you bred a golden one was a real, wow, I've done it.
You have to work hard for that.
I can completely see that with Pokemon.
And it wasn't just that. I think that I had all emotions attached to the fact that I'd made really fast friends with people that I really cared about. And then it felt like that person...
Poo-pooed
Yeah,
all
he
that.
wasn't... I can't emphasise enough how upset I was by that.
Get that.
Like, it was horrible. And then I never played it for... I just left it to the side for 10 years or so. And it was just upsetting. I should never have given him it. But I was trying to make friends.
So what's the moral of the story?
Don't ever try and make friends.
Just don't make friends.
Yeah, and friends are shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I've done a few swears today, haven't I?
It's
Yeah.
because the passion of Pokemon Red has fired you up.
So yeah. So before we started recording, Hannah was looking through games to possibly lend to a young cousin.
Yes.
And I said to her, she said, "Oh, I might lend him this one." And what did I say?
No, don't lend to me. He lives too far away.
I said.
And then I laughed, and you two didn't laugh, and I felt really uncomfortable. I laughed.
I did say that, but this is where this stems from. The fact that I lent somebody that game and they didn't treasure it.
Yeah.
That again made me really antsy and has had repercussions. Nobody borrows my things. No, I don't lend my things out to people very often or very freely.
No, I'm very the same. That I don't really lend stuff out because I like to keep things in as pristine condition as possible. I remember once buying a CD from Woolworths and got back home and the CD case was quite scratched and I went back and said, "Can I have a different case, please?" And they just looked really confused. Yeah, sure. Just, I really want to make sure it's the best it can be.
Yeah, I think if someone lends me a thing, I try and look after it better than I look after other people's stuff.
Yeah, because
I just don't understand why other people don't do that.
You've had that trust put in you, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I remember at secondary school, someone once lent to me the South Park movie on VHS, which is a brilliant film.
Yeah.
And when I gave it back to him, he accused me of having left it by a radiator because the inside had melted a bit. And no, I haven't. And he just wouldn't believe me. And I didn't. I categorically did not.
That is very strange.
Because of, like you said, I would keep
look after things.
Good condition of things.
Yeah.
So, very strange.
So that's Pokemon Red. So I didn't play Pokemon Gold and Silver, which were the ones that came out after this.
So can you go through all the generations? Do you think you can name them all?
Oh, no, probably not. Maybe. I've got some in here, so
it's Gold and Silver.
Yeah. So that's Crystal.
So is it Crystal and Emerald?
So I've got Emerald
Crystal
here.
And...
Emerald is a GBA game.
And then was there Pearl and...
Diamond and Pearl.
And was it Sapphire? Sapphire and Ruby?
Yeah.
And then Black and White?
Yeah, and then X and Y,
yeah.
Which I've got, but I don't know where. And then Sun and Moon. And then
I remembered.
Sword and Shield. So I have got... So this is Crystal.
Can I just go on record saying this is definitely by far the nerdiest episode of our podcast
Is
to
it?
date. I think so.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, I've got Pokemon Crystal here.
Right.
So I don't know how to feel about this game because I possibly stole it off somebody.
Oh, here we go. How the tables have turned.
Yeah.
Someone who's had a pop at someone else.
However,
how did that happen then?
Right. So these same people that this was years later, obviously, because it's Pokemon Crystal. The same people that I was friends with through Pokemon and through going to the new school and that. We were playing in one of their streets, which is actually just around the corner from here. And no, it's not. Do you know what I've just done? I have.
Yeah.
I've lapsed into, this is my mum's living room.
It really is not.
And I'm 12 years old. So this was, we were playing in the street, we were playing football or something, and someone kicked the ball at a conifer tree in somebody's garden.
Right.
And something fell out.
Was it Pokemon
And the thing that fell out was Pokemon Crystal.
Get out of town.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Why was there a Pokemon cartridge in a tree?
You tell me.
That's bonk.
Clearly somebody didn't care.
No, I'm not having that.
True.
That did not happen.
That really happened. And I don't know why I ended up with it, out of all of us, but I've ended up with it. That happened.
No.
So you tell me what you would have done.
Taken it.
Someone left it in a tree. They clearly don't care.
Was this kind of tree outside someone's house?
It was in their garden.
So someone maybe that's their bedroom thrown it out or something? And
why would they do that?
I've no idea.
It would have had to, really get... You'd have to be lucky for it to, lock in the tree.
It was God.
Well, I assumed that it fell from
yeah, exactly.
sky.
Manna from heaven.
Yeah, exactly. So Pokemon Crystal.
Pokemon Manna.
Yeah, all right. Whatever. And then I bought that one. That's Pokemon. So the rest they don't really have good stories.
Emerald version. That's which
Emerald.
Which console is that for?
Game Boy Advance.
That's an ugly cartridge.
But it fits in the DS.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I've got Pokemon Black. Pokemon Silver is now on there.
Right. So that's a 3DS.
Gap. Pokemon Trade... This is a 3DS, yeah, sorry. Pokemon Trading Card Game is on there as well, because I think a friend had Pokemon Trading Card Game, and we played through that beginning to end. It's very good if you haven't played Pokemon Trading Card Game. And then we've got the Switch games. I didn't play Sun and Moon.
Of course, so you've just pulled out Pokemon Shield, and then from last year, so 2018 at the time of recording, Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, which I have got Pokemon Let's Go
Did you bring
Pikachu at home. No, didn't bring it.
You were supposed to bring it.
And I was.
Why were you supposed to bring it?
For trading purposes, I'm guessing.
So that I could put a save on my Switch and I could get a secret Pikachu.
So again, it's a Pokemon game I've got at home and haven't got around to playing yet, but I will do at some point. Just in terms of the Pokemon trading card game, we've mentioned the cartoon already. There was obviously the actual physical card game. There was it was just, when it came out, there was just an onslaught of stuff, wasn't there?
The Pokemon franchise is the biggest selling multimedia franchise in history.
I can well believe that.
There is no other franchise, no Disney, no Star Wars, no nothing that has sold more than Pokemon as a franchise. So, but you've got films, you've got games, you've got books, you've got plushies, like all the little toys.
Yeah.
You've got little figures,
clothing,
all
the merchandise that goes with that.
Everything and anything. You can get Pokemon ribbon, like for I don't know, hair and stuff.
Like, I think about gifts like for Christmas, perfect time of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
anything and everything that you can think of, you can get Pokemon on.
So I was thinking of specifically, did you ever see the South Park episode that was a parody of Pokemon? Yeah. It was brilliant. I thought it was brilliant anyway. Yeah. South Park's one of those programs where I don't follow it at all, but when I dip into it, I really, really enjoy it.
I think South Park, I tend to keep up with them.
Right.
Again, South Park was one of those things that was coming up when I was going to secondary school.
Yeah, it was actually, yeah. The friend I mentioned previously with the Game Boy printer, so on the one hand we're playing with Game Boy printer and playing Pokemon, and then we're also watching South Park. They're quite disparate.
Yeah, they are really
things,
disparate.
Aren't they?
I had to have an operation on my toes, which was quite a painful operation.
Right.
And after that happened, I had to sort of keep off my feet for a few days at the very least. My nana and my mum went out and bought me, I was 11, went out and bought me 2 VHSs of South Park.
The time assuming had 18 written on the front of them.
Probably. I can't remember what the certificate was, but they weren't. One of them was the first episode, which was Cartman gets an anal probe.
Classic.
And that was my nana and my mum. I think it had been such a traumatic event for them because they'd had to listen to me scream that they just felt so bad. And I think I must have said, "Can I have some South Park, please?" I didn't even know what South Park was until I got those VHS.
At least you didn't say, "Can I have an anal probe?"
Well, I didn't really want one of those, so I wanted the South Park.
Yeah.
But South Park for me has been up and down. Like, the film is, I still think the film's pretty good.
The film's brilliant. Every time I watch the film, I'm just amazed by how good it is.
Yeah.
And the songs in it, the songs are great.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I think the series has its ups and downs. Like most series, especially ones that have been going on as long as that one. That's 20 odd years, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is.
So you're going to have ups and downs, aren't you? But, like you say, very disparate inputs into our childhoods. Like, I was playing Pokemon on the one hand and wholesome fun, and then asking for South Park videos and being given them, which was odd. Yeah, don't know why that happened.
I guess it was the time that this was around, wasn't it? That we were both very. You said 11, I was 13, and 14. So it's that sort of going from childhood to adulthood, isn't it? Again, this is very therapeutic, isn't it? That was very Freudian.
What was your starter? You had Pokemon Red.
I did. I'm 99% sure I went for what was it? The dragon one, Charizard. Yeah.
You see, I've got all of those names embedded in my head.
I was just trying to dredge it up.
Yeah.
I think I went for it because I was associating red with fire. I think that was why I went for that.
I went for Bulbasaur. How do you choose your Pokemon? How do you choose your starters?
Just the one that I think just looks the best. Not in terms of the look of the character, just the one that I think, that might be the most useful, maybe. I'm always, in terms of RPGs and similar sorts of games, I'm always going more for the offense rather than the defense. And to me, Charizard would be more of an offensive Pokemon.
I tend to do that as well. Certainly on Pokemon anyway. Pokemon with moves that are attack rather than tactical. So it was just all out offense.
Exactly.
But in terms of choosing Pokemon, I tend to go for the one that I feel the most affinity with. I don't know. But I think Bulbasaur, so you tell me what that says about me. Ugly little thing, wasn't it? But
if you had an anal probe, you would have had a Bulbasaur. Thank you.
I'm going to have to do a lot of...
So do you mean affinity with it in terms of like the look of it, or...
Yeah, like
So Bulbasaur was a little squat grumpy thing.
Yeah, that's genuinely, I think, what appealed to me. Like, he was this cute little grumpy looking thing. And in the cartoon, I don't know if you remember, he had this gravelly...
I'm not going to...
Yeah. Like that.
I wasn't...
You were holding it in. I don't care anymore. I've done enough. I did it Vinnie Jones in previous episodes, or tried.
Though in the cartoon, there was cries, didn't there? That was just their name.
Yeah.
Do you remember Diglett's?
No.
They just called themselves out in a strange way. Oh, yeah, it's sort of like that. Yeah, I'm not going to do it.
Well, I did it.
And then my brother got.
If you want to keep naming him, I'll give you my best version of what I think they probably did.
The ones I can remember, Mr. Mime.
No, I don't remember that one.
He went
Mr. Mime.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. You got
Is that it?
Yeah. Genuinely, that's how he went. In terms of the cards, my brother got which was the really rare one. So Charizard
Shadow...
went into Charmander, went into...
No, Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard.
So Charizard was the final form.
Dragony.
Right. So I didn't go for Charizard then, so I must have gone for Charmander, mustn't I, at the start of the game?
You went for Charmander if you went for...
So my little brother got the Charizard, the big fiery dragon. He got the trading card of that.
Which was a very rare one.
Which
I was
was
looking
very
at
rare.
An article about that a couple of days ago. It was on Reddit.
Right. You can say how much it's worth?
Yeah, it's like 20,000.
Are you joking?
Nope.
Right, so we got it, and in a pack of cards, and he found it, and I remember I mentioned the previous episode about getting into eBay. This episode. I can't remember.
Previous episode.
My dad sold it on eBay, and I think it was around £150-200 we sold it for, which, my brother's 4 years younger than me, so he'd have been about 10.
I mean, that's good, but...
How much is it worth now?
I'm sure they were saying, if it's the same one that I was looking at, they were talking like £20,000.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Well, you do what you do in the moment, don't you? You got to live with it, it's fine.
Wow. Okay.
It's no skin off your nose. £150 to a 10-year-old.
Oh yeah,
for a card.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. It's something to do with a shadow, like Shadow Charizard or Shadowless Charizard.
It was just a standard Charizard. It wasn't. It was. I
remember
it was shiny.
Yeah. It's a Charizard, but I don't really know because I didn't follow the trading card game. But the reason that it's special is because something to do with its shadow.
Right, I see.
And again, if anybody's listening out there and they know exactly what that is, come and let us know.
Get some clarification.
Yeah, please do let us know, because we don't know. Not really. But a lot of money. A lot of money swimming around in that old trading card game.
I'm not going to tell him, because like you say, it's happened.
What if he's one of the people listening?
Yeah, he's not. He's not into games.
No, that's fine. I've never really got into any kind of trading card game, but there are people playing Magic. Magic?
Yeah, The Gathering.
Yeah, and I'm sure on Kotaku a couple of days ago, or maybe last week, there was an article about someone playing with a deck that was worth $100,000. Like how? They're cards.
Utter lunacy.
Yeah, it's madness. Did I tell you last year, I decided to sell one of my games.
Right.
Did I tell you about that?
Not to recall.
It was Conker's Bad Fur Day.
All right.
So Conker's Bad Fur Day, I had on the N64. It was made and released towards the end of the console's lifespan. Yes. So not that many copies got sold.
Game was famously smutty. Quite South Park-esque.
Really. Yeah, it was. Really was that sort of... And it was made by Rare, who were making Donkey Kong Country and things like that prior to that. Very family-friendly, and then they threw that in. It started off as like a family-friendly...
And then they just decided to make it really crude. Is that right?
Conker was in Diddy Kong Racing.
Yes, I remember that. Which came out before Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Yeah, he was a charming, cheery squirrel.
Yeah.
And they were making that version of Conker's, and then they scrapped it all, and they went to Conker's Bad Fur Day, which was...
What's the reason for that, then?
I can't remember. I really don't remember. There's a good documentary on YouTube about it. And actually, there's a game called Rare Replay for the Xbox One.
And has that got it in or not?
Yeah, it's got Conker's Bad Fur Day in.
I remember that when that came out, there was a bit of a furore about certain games not being in it. I didn't know if that was one of those ones.
It's probably people moaning about GoldenEye not being in it.
That might be it, yes.
But Conker's Bad Fur Day is in it. I think it's the reloaded version that came out for the Xbox 360.
Okay.
They, alongside each of those games, there is a little short like documentary making of type thing, and I think they detail some of the goings on in that. If anybody wants to seek that out. But anyway, I sold that. I got it originally for Christmas and sold it last year for about £140. Yeah. But the reason being, it was just sat upstairs in its box.
Yeah, exactly.
It was in good condition, and I wasn't going to be playing it anytime soon, so I thought someone else might as well
definitely
enjoy that. I've got a few others that I've thought the same about, like, I don't really have any interest in going back to them, so maybe I'll send them off to somebody that wants them. But I don't know. It's just mad the amounts that people put into these things.
For such odd things.
Yeah, I used to choose my Pokemon based on, like, an affinity. Like, oh, well, I still do, actually. I did the same with Shield.
I was going to say, there must be some reason. You got 3 at the start. You got to choose which one.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't choosing tactically. I was choosing, like, I think I'm most like that one.
Yeah.
Or they're most like me. The way people choose their dogs.
You went for Squirtle then. What does that say about people?
Well, I thought you went for Squirtle.
Why?
Because you said he was your favourite starter.
Is there anything else we need to say about Pokemon at all, do you think? About the game before we sample its delights?
No. Okay. No, I don't think so. Do you want to jump in?
Well, before I jump in, we need to tuck into our main course.
Oh, yeah. I've put all
lunch.
these... I've laid out this amazing feast and not even directed towards it. So, yeah, main course now. We've had our starter, which is prawn cocktail crisps. Second course, main course.
Okay, so I'm going for another crisp now.
What are they?
I'm getting turkey.
Oh, yeah.
Only that's probably because of it being Christmas dinner. Is it roast turkey?
Yeah, it's turkey and stuffing.
Well, there you go.
Are they nice?
Yeah, that's
good,
pretty tasty.
that's all right then.
Because usually with turkey, with Christmas crisps, like roast turkey flavour, to me, it always just tastes like chicken. Whereas that genuinely does taste like turkey as opposed to chicken.
Excellent, good. And now we've got to play the game.
We've got to.
Do you think you're going to like it?
I am 100% sure I'm going to like this game.
Okay, so...
Ever since you mentioned it at the start, I've been extremely excited to get my hands on
I'm really
this.
looking forward to listening to the music, like the introductory music. That bit.
Well, rather listen to you do it, shall we play it? Please can we play it?
Yes.
Thank you.
Let's play. Chris, you've been back to Kanto region, Pokémon Red.
Yes.
Do you feel like you are the very best now? Like no one ever was?
Not quite.
Not quite, no. Did you not like it?
In the top 200, maybe.
You're in the top 200?
Yeah.
Or the game's in the top 200?
Oh, I am. The game's brilliant.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Did you get, like, nostalgia feels as you were playing?
Most definitely. Playing that first bit, I knew exactly what to do, didn't I?
Yes.
So you go into Professor Oak's house, and then you have to go get the parcel, then you go back, and then it was that bit when I tried to leave the village, and I said, "Oh, you do this because then he comes and gets you," wasn't it? Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, you didn't have any problems like getting stuck in, did you?
It was really those muscle memory.
Yeah,
playing the game, and it was such a nostalgia hit.
Yeah, even from the moment like that the Game Freak logo comes up.
Yes,
that's when it gets me.
Definitely.
Like the attachment is probably a completely irrational attachment, but the attachment I actually have to this game.
I was going to say erotic then, not irrational. Is the attachment erotic?
Well, you can have whatever attachment you like. It's stronger with this game for me than probably any other game.
Why is that then, do you think?
I don't think it's my favourite game, not even from that period, but...
You just have that strong attachment to it?
Yeah,
right.
Because I don't know if I was saying this off or on mic, but the fact that you build your team, and your team is always, like, throughout that whole adventure, your team is always there, it's always developing, and you're developing it. I think that's why. They feel more real than... That makes me sound like a madman. I'm aware that makes me sound like a madman. But, like, my Bulbasaur was my Bulbasaur. It wasn't someone else's. It wasn't just a Bulbasaur. It was my Bulbasaur.
Because you developed the links with it.
Yeah.
You and I talked about how you have to use the Pokemon within Pokemon Red to then do stuff within the main world, don't
with
you?
the HMs.
Which I think is very clever.
And strength and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. They've actually done away with that in the new game in
Right.
the Shield and in Sword and Shield.
Just made that a bit more open.
Yeah, I can understand why they've done it, because in the sense that it's sort of like arbitrary gating off of certain things.
It is, but then the way to unlock those gates is to use those Pokemon, which I think is clever.
Yeah, the other problem I think that people had with it was that it locked one of your Pokemon's moves to being that HM move. So
right, okay.
if you taught a Pokemon Cut, that Pokemon had to be in your team to use it, and then it had to have that move.
Okay, I could see that.
But I do think what you say is sort of bringing your Pokemon up to be able to progress. That was part of the appeal of the game.
And you also, the appeal for you was the fact that the lead character was called Ash, that you enjoyed that.
Yeah, I did say that. I said that off mic, didn't I? Yeah.
Yeah.
It was probably the first and only time that being called Ashley or Ash has been a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't mind my name, but it's never had a benefit.
Can't think of any famous Ashleys off the top of my head.
No, Ashley Banjo.
Oh yeah, off the diversity.
Yeah.
I can't think of any others.
But I don't have an affinity with Ashley Banjo, unfortunately.
Wasn't Ashley Walters? Wasn't he in? Is he an actor like from So Solid Crew or something?
I have no idea.
Else.
I have no idea. I don't know who that is.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry, it's absolutely fine.
One of the things that I said to you about when you were playing was all the little different things that people would do, or the things that people believed about the game. And I said about in the first half, I said about how the game was built so that you'd go to school and you would disseminate your information to other people, and they'd tell you stuff that you
definitely.
But what
which
that also,
interestingly was you had to play the game in that way and discuss in that way because it came out pre-internet.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
not pre-internet, but pre-the-internet being as accessible as it is.
Yeah.
So nowadays, if you and I are playing a game like that, straight away you go onto a forum or Reddit or whatever and discuss
you
with
could
people.
If you wanted to.
Then it was those you had the people, the pockets of people you had to share it with.
Yeah, exactly.
And share information from them. However, as you're leading up to, that did lead to some urban myths.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
And
so
you mentioned a few of these to me, and that was... It was to hear them back. I completely heard these urban myths as well. Even though you and I did not go to school, even in the same town or even the same region.
No, these were worldwide misbeliefs.
The fact that these perpetuated is bizarre.
Mew under the truck was the big one. Everyone was convinced that Mew was in the game somewhere, and that if you the way that I understood it was that you had to catch Mewtwo, which you could do, and then you had to use Mewtwo to move a truck out of the way, and then there was a sewer that you could go down, and Mew was hiding in that underneath that manhole.
And was all of that just complete rubbish?
Yeah,
right.
Mew's not even in the game.
Is Mewtwo in the game?
Mewtwo's in the game. Yeah,
is that one that you get through using like a game Shark, Game Freak?
No, Mewtwo's you can get Mew using the Game Freak,
right?
Or not the Game Freak, the Game Shark. Game Freak made the game,
right? Okay. Yeah, of course they do.
Game Sharks allow you to get Mew, but he's not like a proper Pokemon in the game.
So what happened to Mew then? Was he in there and then got taken out?
I don't know. I don't know if they... I think they must have intended, because the data's there and his pictures in the game. The actual data is there. So I assume that they were intending to have him in there somewhere, in some way, but took him out. I don't know why. He's come back in subsequent games. He's been in, or they've been, I don't know, male, female. They've been in subsequent games.
They were the Mew and Mewtwo were the main plot of the very first anime film, weren't they?
Pokemon the movie. Yeah, I remember going to see that at the cinema.
Oh, okay. I never went to see the films.
No.
I'm just aware of them.
Yeah.
I think you're deeper into it than I am.
I think I probably am, especially having watched you, because you were... Yeah, sort of things were coming back to you as you were going. Whereas...
I was clutching it. What's this one called? What's this one?
Yeah.
Rattata. This is Weedle. And
all of those
you knew them straight away.
Yeah, all of those names are like in my brain. They're just... There's probably a whole compartment in my brain that is just devoted to the names of Pokemon.
What a great use of brain.
Well, yeah, that's what happens when you're a kid, isn't it?
Demonstrably so, because...
And it's stuck with me as well. Like, even... Because you said about, that one... So you learn moves as you level up. But to me, like, that is just... Yeah. What, of course you do, it's Pokemon. So...
But you've kept more in with the series, whereas that was the first time I played any of the games for 20 odd years.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So whereas I've sort of dipped in and out, and I tried to say this in the first half, but I don't know if I said it very well. I would have the best of intentions to play the games that I had between Red and Shield, but then I'd get into it and I'd be enjoying the Pokemon catching and all the battling and things, but the stories often would undercut all of that, and they got quite convoluted and ridiculous. I felt it's like too much melodrama. I couldn't invest in stories, and that then meant that I sacked off the game, which was a shame.
Which one was it in particular where we were talking about?
Well, I was talking about Pokemon Black, where the baddie team, I looked this up, they're called Team Plasma, but I was saying about how they started off, their intention was to free all of the Pokemon, to liberate all the Pokemon from their masters, from their Pokemon.
Peter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it. That's what it was. Which probably...
I think that's a really good idea. Because it turns the series on its head.
Yeah.
That actually, are these Pokemon, are they being willing captives?
Well, exactly. It was asking questions like that.
Is willing? Do you ever get a captive that's not... You know what I mean?
The problem was that it felt like the Pokemon weren't speaking for themselves.
Right,
like,
okay.
You, as a character, would make comments like, yeah, but they like it, don't they? We're friends. And it kind of felt like...
The organ grinder speaking for the monkey.
But it was always a bit awkward. And that one had a whole different issue. But, like, there's all stuff now with that I'm not aware of and that I tried to ignore when I was playing those games about, like, multiple universes and wormholes and all sorts of stuff that I'm not really up on. It was just too much melodrama to invest in.
Whereas Pokemon Red started off with, oh, hi, you're this character, which I called Ash in my playthrough, and then, oh, here's this guy, Gary. He's my grandson. He's been your rival since you were kids. It's like,
you've been competing forever.
Okay.
It's very healthy.
There's the exposition right there. That's the plot in a nutshell.
And then the rest of the story is go get the badges, become the Pokemon champion, be the very best, like no one ever was. Yeah, and beat Gary at the end. And, Team Rocket turn up, and they're a bit of a pain in the backside at points, but you just deal with it as you go, and that's not the main thrust. The main thrust is getting Pokemon badges.
Rags to riches, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It is a Rags to riches story, and it's quite simple. The enjoyment in that game, in Pokemon Red, is not, or at least it wasn't for me, wasn't in, like, a grand narrative.
No one's playing Pokemon games to the story, let's be honest.
I don't know, because
Surely not.
I don't know. I really don't know, because the stories have become so overblown anyway. Like, sure, presumably they at least thought that people wanted more story.
So an example of that... So you and I speaking again off mic about how oftentimes series, games, films, books, whatever, starts off with the original idea that's very, very simple, and then if it's successful, sequels then grow very, very bloated. So an example that just sprung to mind. Yes, can do. An example that just sprung to mind was Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's a perfect example,
loved
actually. Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts. I absolutely adored it. Towards the end, I didn't really understand what was going on.
No.
And then I started playing 2, got bored. I haven't played 3, I haven't got the means to play 3. But I'm now aware, because I sort of keep in touch with what's happening vaguely, but it's just so complicated.
Yeah, there were like 2-hour videos to explain before Kingdom Hearts 3.
Who wants that? Who needs that?
No, exactly.
I just want to play a game where I've got Disney and Final Fantasy together, boom, done.
Yeah, and what I really liked about Kingdom Hearts was going into different worlds. It's a similar sort of thing to Pokemon, like find a new Pokemon. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
It was the same with Kingdom Hearts. Where am I going next?
Yeah, exactly.
That was the intrigue. That was the thing that was pushing me forward. And it was, I do remember distinctly playing Kingdom Hearts 2 and just realising at one point that I was literally just fighting hordes of Heartless in order to see what was the next world.
To watch the next cutscene and...
Yeah, I'm not really enjoying the actual game. I just want to see what else is there.
I think that was probably the same thing with me, because I loved Kingdom Hearts 1. I completed it several times. Yeah. And Kingdom Hearts 2, the first world is Mulan, I think.
Yeah, possibly.
And I didn't even complete that.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. It's a shame. The other thing that I heard about Kingdom Hearts 3 was that, like, they take worlds. The perfect example that I heard was Toy Story, where you start off in Andy's bedroom.
Yeah.
And that would have been the perfect place to explore and things.
But it takes you outside, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then it takes you down the street, and you're just in some nondescript street. And it's like, why did you do that? You've missed the point of your own game.
Precisely.
And that is what I think Pokemon has been doing to some extent.
It's been taking you down the street.
Yeah, it's been taking you down the street. Thinking you were trying to get invested in the story when all you really wanted to do was catch 150 Pokemon.
Definitely.
That is why Pokemon Shield has been such an enjoyable game to play, because I don't know if you've seen all the furore around Pokemon Shield with you.
Which aspects of it?
The issue with the Pokedex
Right, what about it?
National Dex. So National Dex is all of the Pokemon that exist in the entire Pokemon world. So there's like over 800.
And people are up in arms because it hasn't got all 800 Pokemon ever exist. Right, I see.
I think there's legitimate reasons for them to be up in arms, like their favourite Pokemon
but
are
was
gone.
Pokemon Shield ever billed as being, all 800 Pokemon are going to be in this game?
No.
No, exactly.
But that was the issue. Like, there's never been... This is the first one where they've cut back.
Right,
so
okay.
They've always had all of the Pokemon that have ever existed can be in any of the games up to the point where they've been made. So Sun and Moon, all the Pokemon from previous games could be in that game, even if you had to trade them over. Or import them.
Okay, now I understand a little bit more.
Yeah, so people were mad. There's probably some kind of competitive element. Maybe they cut Pokemon that people like to use in competition. Mm-hmm. So that seems like a legitimate reason. Yep. But equally, I think there's been quite a big outcry. And the outcry was happening months before the game even came out. Like, people were moaning about it way ahead of time. Then there was a big old issue with the assets in the game. So they were showing off the game like at E3 or something. And people were moaning about the thing that they got fixated on. And even at the time, I was like, what is wrong with this picture? Was a tree. And they were calling it an N64 tree.
Right.
And the trees, they don't look particularly like gobsmacking. But who is playing a Pokemon game
exactly what
for
I was
the
about
trees?
To say.
Like, I've been playing this game for, I don't know, 30, 40 hours now. Not once have I, other than the berry trees, not once have I thought, oh God, that tree, it's making me feel sick. You know, there are some like assets, some textures that don't look good. But who cares? Really, who cares?
It's a bit like, I suppose, Google Stadia. People make up their own minds, don't they? People decide, I'm going to dislike that, and they
do it ahead of time.
Exactly. Looking for things to dislike about it.
Yeah.
But in terms of Pokemon, just like you said, if a tree texture isn't great, well, so what? I'm playing Pokemon to catch Pokemon. I'm not playing it for amazing realism.
And that is exactly what this game does well. Like, I have really enjoyed... So I was a very good market for this game, probably, and I think you would be too. Anybody that had... For Pokemon Shield, anybody that has only dipped their toes in between... say Red and now, or that has never played a Pokemon game, this is a perfect place to jump back in or jump on board, because for me, there are 400 Pokemon in the game. I've caught 209 of them and seen just over 300.
And even so, 400 Pokemon, that's not a lot of Pokemon.
Yeah, it's more than twice as many as the first game, and the first game I played for over 100 hours.
Yeah.
For the most part, these Pokemon are fairly new to me. Most of the Pokemon for me are new.
Mm-hmm.
And that element of discovery is really satisfying.
But even having the ones that to see them fully rendered in 3D and looking as nice as they do.
Precisely that. I've said a couple of times, this game, it really does matter that it is on my television. Mm-hmm. It really does matter. And I think that they've tried to emphasise how much that matters with the gimmick that they've gone for, because they tend to have a gimmick. And the gimmick in this is Dynamax and Gigantamax.
So basically making the Pokemon really big.
Massive. Yeah. And
it did make the battles really epic.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
So maybe for clarity, we should just explain, because we've gone a little bit into Pokemon Shield now. So we played through Pokemon Red for probably about 45 minutes or so.
First hour or so.
Once you get out of the town, you're catching Pokemon. Yeah. That's pretty much the game, isn't it? So I caught a few Pokemon and got a flavour of the game. So then went into Pokemon Shield just as this is what it's like nowadays, just a comparison, and there is a definite lineage between the two games.
There is, yeah, and I don't think that Pokemon games have lost that. Like, it's not like they went that thread jumps from Red to Shield. I think that goes through the games, but there are certain things that they've done with Shield that definitely hark back to Red. And the fact that they've streamlined the games and removed a lot of that story stuff that if it was good, I would appreciate. But for the most part, it was melodrama that I just couldn't get stuck into. They've taken all that out, and it's about getting your badges and catching Pokemon. There's a legendary arc running alongside that. It runs pretty much parallel to the catching the Pokemon and getting the badges, which is fine. I like catching the legendary Pokemon, but for the most part, it's about catching the Pokemon.
Yeah,
and that's what Red was about, and that's why this game is good, and that's why it's the first Pokemon game I finished since Red.
So, in case you weren't sure, Ashley really likes this game.
Yeah, I also like Red. I really like Red. I don't know. You like you say, it's a difficult game to. It's a difficult game to appreciate in a short period of time.
But I really enjoyed that
short period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. exactly. What was it? The just satisfaction of catching the Pokemon?
I got the sense of it being, and I don't know if this really is true for Pokemon. Well, it is true for Pokemon games, in my opinion. The scale of it. I got the sense playing a little bit just then that this is the start of a quite an epic quest, and I'm just starting off on that. I'm finding my feet, kind of catching my basic Pokemon, but I could sense that it was going to lead up to something bigger.
Yeah.
We haven't recorded any episodes quite a while now, and in the interim between recording this and the last batch of episodes, I've played through quite a few games on the Switch, including the Link's Awakening remake.
Oh, yeah.
Which I was a little bit underwhelmed with.
Oh.
I remember I really enjoyed Link's Awakening on the Game Boy, and I don't know what it was about it, but I just was a bit, Whereas Link's Awakening on the Game Boy, I remember having that sense of this is something fantastic and epic, and I definitely got a Pokemon Red. I definitely felt that playing through a little bit of Pokemon Shield earlier.
They are both games that they're like TARDISes. To be totally geeky about it, aren't they? They're bigger on the inside than they are on the outside.
This is our nerd episode, so let's go
clearly.
with it.
The Game Boy is such a little compact device.
Yeah.
You kind of, and for the most part, it's games kept within the bounds of the Game Boy. When you put a Pokemon game into the Game Boy, it explodes out of the Game Boy. It's such a big adventure. And
it was such amazing, the contrast, having recorded our previous Christmas episode, the Stargate on Game Gear, also handheld. Contrast that with Pokemon Red.
The quality of everything in Pokemon. The way it looked, the actual images of the Pokemon were lovely.
Stargate having 2 songs on it.
Yeah.
Pokemon had loads of different sounds.
In the space of an hour, there were some really varied pieces of music.
Even the fact that Pokemon have their own little cries, which don't sound particularly nice because they're little, WAV. Is it WAV? MIDI?
MIDI.
Yeah,
MIDI. Little MIDI.
But they're there.
They are there, and there's 151 of them. They're all different. The problem, potentially, sort of going forward, is that those cries, for the most part, are still the same 20 years later. So when it's a new game, a Machop sounds like a Machop sounded then, which I can kind of understand.
Yeah, I can see the logic in that.
But it sort of it can jar with, like, the updated graphics.
Mm-hmm.
So I do get, again, that's another one that I kind of get. But yeah, the music, there was, in terms of what stood out for me in the music, it was just as you were coming to an end in a forested area. And the music sort of sounded haunted.
It's quite menacing.
Yeah. It had gone from, like, quite the nice tunes, like the friendly sounding tunes of the town areas, and then into this forest, and it sounded quite menacing, and you just realised how much effort was actually put into into polishing that game. It's easy to appreciate the design of the monsters as well, the Pokemon.
Yeah, definitely. The huge variety.
Yeah, and that was something else that I wasn't sure I was getting satisfaction from with the games over the years. Like, some of the designs just felt a bit overwrought.
We've now got in Shields, having dipped into that, we've now got Pokemon based on ice creams.
I like that one. That was
great.
Vanillux. Yeah,
and then the
starts
Pokemon,
off as vanillish.
Pokemon based on a pot of tea.
Yeah, Poltegeist.
Which, again, fantastic.
Yeah. He starts off as a teacup, and I can't remember what his name is when he's a teacup, but he has a little slip of tea coming out, and it's his tongue. So
you and I both sat here thinking that sounds great. Other people might listen to this and think, that sounds awful.
Well, plenty of people did, unfortunately. But, again, just to slip, we are going to talk a little bit, or more than a little bit, about Shield, or we have already. The depiction of Galar, which is the region, that is it's based on the UK.
Yes.
It's where we're from. And I really like that. I really like the way that they've depicted us. There's a place even that's local to us called Hull, which is, one of the towns there is Hullbury in the game, and that's based on Hull, this area. So
the fact that, I said it several times while playing it, the fact that they've done a game based on the UK and embraced the British culture, even down to the fact that some of the language the characters use, the fact that things are called pants, I think that's brilliant. The fact that that's then going to an international audience. So it'd be great to see more games do that.
Yeah.
And I mentioned it while you and I played that, and off mic, but Untitled Goose Game did a similar thing.
Yeah, House.
That sense of Britishness really came through, and for me strengthened my enjoyment of the game because it was seeing those familiar touchstones. There's one point in Untitled Goose Game where you make the goose go into a TV shop, which I don't remember seeing on a British high street since I was about 5 years old. Radio rentals.
Yes. And
you go
Bright House now, isn't it? It's the same sort of thing as radio rentals.
Exactly. Yeah. So you go in and you press a button, and then it's all the TVs in the window then show you as the goose in the shop, and your movements are it's fantastic. But just for that nostalgia.
I've played that bit. You have to get you have to chase a boy into the telephone box so that he then rings who I presume is his parent, who runs the TV shop. Yeah. She then comes out to try and chase you, the goose, away. At which point you double back around her and you run in and you lock her out and you put yourself on the TV.
Yeah, brilliant.
It's great.
It really is.
It is very good. So we are probably coming to the end. Or close to it, aren't we? But I've still got a present for you.
Oh,
I'm not giving it yet.
Okay, so before I unwrap that and we wrap up this episode, is there anything else about Pokémon Red you wanted to discuss?
There wasn't, not specifically about Pokémon Red. I got my Game Boy for Christmas, which is obviously why I've chosen Pokémon Red for this episode, because it's a Christmas special. My Game Boy was bought off, I think, my brother's friend. It was a second-hand Game Boy. So it wasn't wrapped up or anything. It wasn't boxed up or anything. It wasn't sealed. Which, at 11 years old, was a bit of a godsend. It was the first Christmas that I won. It probably wasn't the first Christmas that I looked for my presents, but it was the first Christmas I found them.
So why do you look for your presents?
What do you mean, why did I look for my presents?
We all do, didn't we?
Who doesn't look for their presents?
Someone who doesn't believe in Santa?
When I found it, I was gobsmacked because I didn't think I'd ever find them.
Where were they?
Just in the top of my mum's wardrobe.
Yeah, that's where my mum hid.
So what I
as well.
That was like October time, end of October. So I had the whole of November and December where I knew where my present was. On top of that, I had access to it because it wasn't in a box. I used to take the batteries out of the remote downstairs when I got home from school and nip up and have a quick go. But all the time that I was playing the games, I was having to look out of the window to make sure nobody, my parents, weren't coming back to the house.
If they did come back, would you have time to whack the Game Boy back in there?
I would have done my best. I never got caught.
And then you had to run downstairs, put the battery in the remote before they...
No, I would have done that nonchalantly. As they were sort of entering the house, I would have...
Would they not have queried why you walk around with batteries out the TV
Well, they wouldn't have known, would they? Because I would have done it in secret.
Right. Furtively.
Yeah. I did that, something along those lines, every year since then that I lived at home. Even a few years later, I nabbed 28 days later. I was getting 28 days later for Christmas, and I found that.
Right.
She moved. My mum moved the presents around the house
she must
every
have
year.
suspected.
I think she probably did. I found
and
28
then you still
days
found
later.
them.
It was in cellophane.
Right.
I unzipped it with a knife at the top, the cellophane, and I snuck the DVD out, and we watched it, me and my now wife, and then popped it back in the cellophane, did it up with a nice little discreet piece of sellotape.
So you went in with a knife, actual motive, you were going to do it?
Yeah, of course I did, yeah. I played every game except Pokemon on my Game Boy that Christmas before I was supposed to even know that I had one.
So I'm coming at you with this making out like you're a bad guy. I did the same thing.
Well, there you go. I think everybody did.
So Christmas 2002, I got, 2003 maybe, Ratchet and Clank 2 for the PS2. Brilliant game.
Yeah.
Did you ever play it?
Yeah, we've got it on the PlayStation 3.
Yeah. And I found where my mum had hidden / Christmas presents, found that, and I didn't complete it because it's a big old game, but I had played for about 10 to 15 hours of it before Christmas Day.
I think that's worse than what I did.
Why?
Because I didn't save mine.
What, you just restarted the game each time?
Well, the games that I had, they weren't games that you could save. They were Lemmings on the Game Boy, a game called Pool, which was just top-down pool. So
you was having a little blast on them just to test them out?
Every minute I could get, I was having a nab on the Game Boy.
It's
great.
Whereas mine was just, I'm actually going to further my saves.
Stolen joy is far better than just joy.
I think so as well.
Yeah, I do as well.
Illicit joy.
Yeah, illicit joy.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of illicit
it was
joy,
picking up the Christmas present that reminded me that I wanted to say that tell you that little tidbit. Therapy.
Yeah. Has this been stolen from the top of the wardrobe?
Hasn't been stolen from the top of the wardrobe.
Disappointing.
But when I bought you it, I bought myself one as well.
Oh.
Yeah, because I liked it. So it'll also help, given that you couldn't remember any of the names of the Pokemon.
Oh, so it's into Pokemon then?
Well, yeah, everything I got you is to do with Pokemon.
Of course it was linked to the game, wasn't it? It's quite girthy.
Yeah.
Quite heavy. Oh, I'm ripping the nice paper. Oh, wow. It's a Pokemon Super Deluxe Essential Handbook.
Yeah,
Super the need-to-know stats and facts on over 800 characters from Scholastic.
800? Yeah, Super Deluxe. It's a Scholastic book. Do you remember getting them from the school book fair?
I was just going to say Scholastic, school book fair. So this book aimed at people at least 20 years younger than me, so that's great. Very shiny gold front cover.
Yeah, like I told you, I got one for myself.
That is lovely. You got one of these as well?
Shall I go get mine?
That is amazing.
I'll go get mine. We can read them together.
Which maybe at the end of the episode.
No, I'll go get mine now. Hang on. 1 second. I hid it over here so that you didn't see it. Look.
Snap.
We're book buddies.
Pokemon Snap.
Book friends.
So this has got the
Pokemon Snap. Did we talk about Pokemon Snap?
We did talk about Pokemon Snap.
What,
no.
on mic?
I can't even get my words out on that.
Pokemon Snap was good. Play Pokemon Snap.
Just sum it up in a nutshell for people that might not know.
What?
Pokemon Snap, what is it?
Oh, Pokemon Snap is a game, you're on rails, it's like Safari Pokemon, and the aim of the game isn't to catch them, you just take pictures of them, and then your pictures get rated. It was on the N64, but you could get it on the Wii, and I think the Wii U.
Really?
Yeah, I've got it on the Wii.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
What was that, a re-release of it? Or
Yeah, re-release, yeah. They
okay.
didn't remaster it, it was just a re-release of the N64 game. They missed an absolute trick with the Wii U, though. They should have made a new one.
Definitely, yeah. That would have
it
completely
just
lent itself to it.
That's the only game they should have made for it, really. Like, the only game they should have absolutely made.
The only game out of the, 2 or 3 Nintendo made for the Wii U, and that was one.
No, they made quite a good set.
No, they
of games,
did.
actually, for the Wii
being
U.
overly harsh.
Yeah, I don't appreciate it. Not cool.
Do
you like it?
This is a lovely present, thank you. I will spend many a happy hour flicking through this. And
there's some nice pictures.
Yeah, there really are.
And it tells you what they evolve into. And it tells you what Pokemon moves they can they can learn.
That is great. So
the only problem is it hasn't got the brand new Pokemon.
Scholastic, if you're listening, we approve of this book. There you go, little plug there.
Super Deluxe. It's Super Deluxe and it's shiny.
Well, as we learned back in episode 1, if something is super, it must be good.
Yeah.
But is it better than Mega? Would it be better if it was Mega Deluxe?
They didn't have a Mega Deluxe one.
Well, maybe that'll be the next one that's got the updated one in.
Perhaps, yeah. Perhaps.
Right.
Before we go,
Yep.
it's been a week since people have listened to an episode. We should have done this right at the beginning. But if you are one of the regular listeners, or if you're a new listener that has enjoyed themselves or whatever, or even just wants to tell us that we're wrong about something or other.
Or if you're a nude listener.
No. Well, yes, you too. Anybody that's here and listening now. We have a Facebook page. It's facebook.com/thisgamewhere. We would love people to come and join us on there. We want to talk to the people that are listening to us. We try and sort of get people chatting on there, and the more of you there are, then the merrier those moments will be.
Definitely.
We've also got Twitter and stuff, but the Facebook's where things are doing all right.
Definitely.
So yeah, please come and join us. We'd love that to happen.
Yeah, Ashley spends a lot of time maintaining these things. I'm a bit more of a, I don't know what the word is.
I think you're sort of saying, yeah,
you're the grunt,
but that's not. I'm the grunt.
Yeah.
I'm the worker bee.
Exactly.
So yeah. Oh, the last thing is, you should play Pokemon Red if you can get it, and you should be able to if you can get a 3DS or a DS. I think they're available on the eShop. So yeah, grab a copy of Pokemon Red or Pokemon Gold and Silver, because Pokemon Gold and Silver I've never played those ones, so they're probably the only generation I didn't play. They had, after you'd finished the game, you could then go back to Kanto, which was the region from Pokemon Red and Blue, and do all the badges there.
So there was a game within a game.
Like 2 games
which
for one.
is amazing.
That is pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
So play them.
So I'm being distracted.
Would you agree?
I'm looking through this book.
I should have given you it after.
There's some crazy Pokemon.
There are.
Klefki, a Pokemon based on a ring of keys. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Not all of the Pokemon are good, let's be honest.
I think that's good in its own little way.
Do you?
Yeah, look at it. Page 219.
Yeah, I'm on it.
There we go.
No.
Okay.
Anyway, Pokemon Red, yes. Pokemon Shield, yes. Pokemon Gold, Silver, probably yes. Pokemon. Yes.
It gets to this gameware seal of approval.
We do those.
We do now. Especially
Excellent.
the Pokemon.
Good stuff.
Right.
Happy Christmas. And Happy New Year.
Merry New Year.
We did that wrong, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. That was unplanned.
Spontaneous.
Bye.
See you in the new year.
This Gameware is a Specky 2 Guys production. Music for the episode is provided under Creative Commons license by Steviosphere from the album Cell Division, which can be found at steviosphere.bandcamp.com.